So here's a question for you. Who gets to decide who the monsters are?
That is the exact paradox at the very heart of Dire Bound.
We're talking about the Dark Romantasy by Sable Sorensen. The main character, Maren Cooper, lives in this world, the Sturmfrost Empire, where the answer seems so obvious.
Completely obvious. The siphons across the border are the immortal enemies, and the bonded warriors who are linked to these massive direwolves are the heroes.
They're the revered elite. But Maren, who's a street fighter from the poorest district, learns very fast that the line between hero and villain, well, it's a political weapon.
It is. She's forced into the deadly bonding trials to save her sister, which throws her right into the center of the empire she hates. So today we're going to dive into this book.
Our goal is to really pull out the insights on how her journey critiques propaganda, the myth of meritocracy, and the ethics of loyalty itself.
Let's start right there with the idea of the manufactured monster.
The entire identity of the Sturmfrost Empire is built on this absolute demonization of the siphons.
Yes, they are the other. They're the absolute evil that justifies everything the bonding warriors do, no questions asked.
So this us versus them story isn't just for morale.
No, not at all. It's the foundation of their whole power structure. The bonded are celebrated because they're supposedly the only shield against this threat.
Which gives them immediate elite status. But the control isn't just about external enemies, is it? Maren starts digging.
And she finds a much, much messier history. There were peaceful alliances once, and crucially, she's secretly tied to a lost royal bloodline that came before the Empire.
That one detail changes everything.
It's devastating to the official story. It proves the conflict isn't some ancient necessary war. It's the result of a political coup. Siphon villainy isn't truth. It's just politically convenient.
Which forces you, the reader, to ask who benefits from defining an enemy as purely inhuman.
And that leads directly to the Empire's internal control, which is all about consent, or really the lack of it.
The bonding trials. They're framed as this incredible honor. You climb a deadly mountain to be chosen by a direwolf.
But for Maren, there is no choice involved. This is a powerful look at institutional violation.
She's claimed by her wolf Anassa forcibly.
And this bond is so much more than a partnership. It's a full psychic merging. It's intimate. It's invasive. Anassa basically overrides Maren's entire inner life.
So the celebrated bond is actually an institutionalized loss of autonomy.
Precisely. And the institution frames that as a good thing. They say, we're one body. We're stronger together.
That's the justification.
It's how systems like this normalize violating personal boundaries. And if Maren tries to create any separation like blocking her wolf's feelings during a private moment,
the pack treats it as betrayal.
a deep betrayal, and that lack of choice goes beyond her mind. It's tied directly to her class.
She's the alley cat of the Eastern Quarter. She survived using skills that the nobles called uncivilized.
And now she has to use those exact skills to survive their elite trials. It's the perfect critique of the meritocracy myth.
The idea that the trials are a fair test of worthiness?
When in reality, they systematically thin out the poor. Nobles who can afford trainers and better gear have a massive advantage.
So the system is just laundering institutional cruelty and calling it fate.
Exactly, and Maren's main weapon against it all is her rage.
A rage the elites constantly tell her is dangerous.
But the book reframes that feminine rage. It isn't a flaw, it's a moral barometer, signaling that the system itself is predatory and deeply unjust.
Which brings us to the core takeaway.
Ultimately, the book shows how these cycles of violence are fueled by historical amnesia. The next generation is sacrificed to old myths because the real origin story has been buried.
Maren's fight is to reinterpret that past, not just for herself, but to free everyone from this inherited war.
She has to break the cycle.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought. If the trauma of a non-consensual bond is justified by saving the empire from the monster next door, what price on freedom are you truly willing to pay to maintain a political lie?